Okay, who's the most important person? You indeed are so, because it's all about your achieving your goals, your dreams, and creating a spectacular life for yourself in area whichever you choose to and wish to. Okay, again, this is your success facilitator, Kaivan Irani, your success facilitator, because that is as true as we see the sun rise from the east. So as we begin right now today, the most important thing is if you can grab a pen and paper, it'll really serve you well if you can put things on paper, because our human brain is just superb. If we don't put things on paper, which is from the intangible to the tangible world, then things fly out of the window. And the last thing you want is things to fly out of the window, because when you want to go back to it, if you put it on paper, it's there, and you can reiterate this over and over and over again in your mind, which is what we want. So again, who's the most important person? You are. Now, here's the most important question. If you are attending the session today, you're investing your time, energy, and effort. What outcome are you seeking from out of this session? What is it that you are What is it that you are expecting? Note, I didn't say hoping. I said expecting to achieve. What outcome are you wanting to achieve or expecting to achieve out of this session? Or write down the outcome. And remember, the outcome has to be in present continuous tense. So, I am achieving, or I am gaining, or I am benefiting from, and then you fill in what you are seeking.
Ivan, do you want to give an example of the benefit statement just for the better understanding of our audiences?
Okay, so the thing is, of course, it's a little far-fetched. A lot of people might have a challenge. So every morning I tell myself, I am a trillionaire. T with a T. Now, am I actually? No. I am in the process of getting there. See, we all are in the process of getting to an outcome. So I am getting to the status of a trillionaire by, and then you put in the timeline. For example, you can put in 5 years down the road, 10 years into the future. So timelines are important because that's the deadline. And keep in mind, just suppose the deadline arrives and you are yet to get there. Note, I didn't say you haven't got there. You are yet to get there. Our language makes a lot of impact. So when we utilize language that supports us and facilitates us, putting us in a positive state. Now I'll just mention state briefly, just so that you are able to comprehend the word state. So, we have labels for ourselves, or others give us labels. You are mean, you are this, you're that. So first, you got to eradicate all labels. If you want to have a label for yourself, I'm the best. That's one label. I'm spectacular. That's the other label. Third, I am perfect. What am I? I'm perfect. Now, a lot of people will tell you, no, nobody's perfect. So I'll utilize the word imperfect. I am perfect. If you segregate that word, that also states I am perfect. I am perfect, right? So the key here is that you have all the time consistently feed yourself with only positive attributes. I'm spectacular. I'm the best. I love myself. I like myself. I'm superb. I'm superior. I'm supreme, right? Now, the key here is to understand that we have three parts or three minds. One, we have the conscious mind, which is the rational mind. And, we utilize it to calculate stuff and logic. Logic is part of the mind, okay? Now, if you live in logic, you'll live in logic and you'll die in logic. So you have to remember, logic has its place, or it is okay to have logic. Keep it where it belongs to, where it is. So the second part of your mind is your unconscious mind. So now, as you are listening to this communication, your heart valves are synchronized automatically. You haven't any effort to put in to do that. Your heartbeats are absolutely perfect. Your body is producing so many chemicals, so many things happening in your body, devoid of your conscious control. That's your unconscious mind. And that's the real wizard within you. And it is time for you to understand that the more you connect with your wizard within, the more of a genius outcomes can you create in each and every area of your life, because that is indeed the promise. And then, of course, you have the superconscious mind, which is connected to everybody else's superconscious mind. So these are the three levels of mind. Now, most people are operating on the conscious level. The way to move forward is to connect with your unique mind. I call it your unique mind. And so it's important for us to communicate. So the best way to communicate with your unique mind is there's two times of the day which are extremely imperative and important. So what are those times? First thing, when you wake up in the morning, just right after when you are in bed, your unconscious mind is completely receptive. Your conscious mind is just waking up right now. So what you have to do is at that point of time, you have to you're feeding your mind with the best things. I'm the best. I'm the most perfect. I'm the most spectacular. I'm the most unique. I'm the most superb. I'm the most supreme. I am completely, infinitely successful in all of my endeavors. So these are the things, 5 minutes of your time, you invest, I repeat, invest and put these things in your mind. The second important time of the day is just right when you are in bed, just before you fall asleep. That time, again, I'm the best. I'm superb. And of course, you can always communicate with your own. So what I do is I communicate with my unconscious mind. I respectfully respect you, my dearest unconscious mind, and I communicate certain things, because what happens is every time your unconscious mind communicates with you, the gatekeeper is your conscious mind. So if I tell you, you are a very successful person, most people around you must have told you, you are good for nothing, you are this, you are that. Negative criticism, which is completely futile and it's a waste of time, right? Anyways, this is what you hear most of the time. Your brain accepts it as completely true, and that is a challenge. So what it becomes a mechanism in your brain, and then there is only one thing: sabotage. You got to avoid that. So what you got to do is consistently remind yourself that you are the best. So what we'll do is we'll start with a emotional freedom technique. Now, emotional freedom technique comes from a genius called Gary Craig. Gary Craig is basically, by profession, he's an engineer. And what he discovered is by tapping on ancient Chinese meridian points, you can change your state. Now, understand one thing: every situation, you have a perception about the situation, right? And what does happen inevitably is that because of your perception, it causes a negative outcome. So what we have to do is first select an issue you want to resolve. That's the first thing. So you can say, maybe you're lazy, maybe you procrastinate, okay? So once you have identified that, second step is you have to, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the extreme, 0 being none, where does it stand, okay? After you've identified it, after you have decided on the scale of 0 to 10, where does it stand? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a short session on EFT, okay? And you want to engage, meaning do it along with me, okay? So first things first, wherever you're sitting, there is called a setup statement. The setup statement is, there is a karate chop point here. With your fingertips of the other hand, you will start tapping and you'll follow what I'm telling you to do. So the setup statement is you start tapping here, okay? Start tapping here. And as you tap, what you say, even though I have this, fill in the blank, whatever issue you have, I deeply completely and accept and love myself. I repeat, even though I have this XYZ, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. That's the statement. So let's begin, right? Everybody ready? Start. Even though I have this, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Even though I have this, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Even though I have this, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Remember, you have to verbally state it as you tap. Once you do that 3 times here, you start on the other hand. Even though I have this whatever issue, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Even though I have this issue, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Even though I have this issue, I deeply, completely accept and love myself. Okay. Now, if you're wearing glasses, I ideally remove it. The first point you tap after the setup statement is here, just here, where the eyebrow is at the inner tip of the eyebrow. Okay. So tap with one of your hands, you can use 2 fingertips here, and you say this issue. Keep on tapping and say this issue. So you just say this issue, 1 word, 2 words, whatever, right? About 6 to 7 times. Now, here, just on the side of the eyes, here at the tip, you start tapping with both the hands. This issue, this issue, this issue. Now, just below the eyes here, just above the chin, above the cheekbone. You can use one hand now, one side. This issue, this issue, this issue. Below the nose, above the mouth and below the nose. This issue, then right in the chin here, chin where the chin is here. Now, the thing is, use both your hands here, just where the sternum is here, and tap with both your hands here. This issue, and consistently state this issue, whatever issue it is, you state it right there. Now, 3 inches below the armpit, this issue, and now finally on the top of your head in the center, this issue. This is 1 round. Now, what you do is take in a couple of deep breaths, in and out, gently. Now, as you do so, go back on a scale of 0 to 10 and see where the issue is. Has it reduced to 6, 5? So that is 1 round. So you can do a couple of rounds and you'll realize that your perspective of the situation is way more positive. Remember, we are not changing the situation. We are changing our response to the situation, because that's what matters. Okay? Now, the second thing what we are going to do is you want to benefit maximum, actually 100% out of the session. So what you have to, because that is the objective, that is my objective, so that after the session, you are able to go and implement these things in your life and create the outcome, at least move towards the outcome that you're looking for, right? That you're seeking, right? So I said seeking because we operate with a couple of different modalities. One is some people are predominantly visual. So they use visual words, look, see. People who are predominantly auditory, they will use sound. I hear the noise, I hear the sound, it sounds good. People who are more kinesthetic, they will operate with feeling words. I feel, emotion. And then there's the people we have who are digital. So digital is self-talk. There's a lot of self-talk going on in their brain all the time. So if I tell somebody, hey, you are extremely successful, and 55 people have told them, oh, you're good for nothing, whatever, XYZ. The self-talk is going to be, you got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Are you serious that I'm really successful? Or are you serious that I'm supreme? Or are you serious that I'm superior? Okay. So anyway, so that's that. So now what we'll do is, yes, it depends on perspective. So understand one very important thing. Everybody's map of the world is different. I repeat, everybody's map of the world is different. So I'll give you a simple example. I have purple glasses, spectacles with me. I have green spectacles and I have blue spectacles. Now, the moment I put blue spectacles on your eyes, guess what? The world appears blue. And you're going to say, hey, the world is blue. Hold on. Is the world really blue? The world is colorless. It depends on what color you want to provide it with. you have a choice. It's all about your choices. So it's all about perspective. Okay, only blue for me. Okay, fantastic, great. Whatever you choose, I'm okay with that. Okay, now, so we've done a couple of things. So now what we'll do is we'll do a technique. Now, everybody, wherever you're sitting down, what you do is you keep your back straight. If you are wearing glasses, remove your glasses or your spectacles. Keep your shoulders a little back and relax your body. Just relax your body. Make sure, if you can, keep your spine straight. And we are going to do a small technique. Now, this technique will allow you or get you in a state where you will be able to focus, concentrate, and retain maximum information for yourself and for the benefit of the people around you. Now, what you do is you keep your chin straight at level and let your tongue drop to the roof or to the bottom of your mouth. Let it lie still, relax the tongue. And your eyes, you gently take it upward. Note, keep your head stable. Take your eyes upward to a 45-degree or above. Pick a spot on the wall or right in front of you and gently look at the spot. Keep your breathing completely and absolutely relaxed. Now, what might happen is that as you look at the spot, and if you look, the higher you look at, if you take the spot very high, then you might get a feeling that you might want to gently close your eyes. And if you want to do so, you may allow yourself to gently close your eyes. And as you do so, you still focus your eyes on the spot, on the wall, beneath your closed eyelids. And as you do so, you actually can feel a gentle wave of relaxation, a golden white light that is like a shower above your head. And as you do so, you feel more and more relaxed. And now your mind is going into a state of deep relaxation and also alertness. So every cell of your body, every part of your mind is now so alert that everything is like a sponge. It's a learning machine. And moving forward in the session, all that we go through, your mind is going to be able to retain everything way more efficiently. And as that happens, as you're enjoying this wonderful, wonderful state of deep relaxation, every part of your mind is stating that you are going to be experiencing one of the best experiences ever that you have experienced now, because that indeed is the promise. Stay with the state for a couple of minutes now, and as you are enjoying this wonderful state, you are realizing that you are one of the most infinite resourceful people, and you have infinite resources lying right now within you. And all you have to do, or all you are wanting to do, is connect with those resources and get all those resources to the forefront, and thereby creating some extraordinary, outstanding, spectacular outcomes in each and every area of your life right now. And as you do so, now I'll be counting from 1 to 5. Gently, you can let your eyes relax, and at the count of 5, you are going to be feeling great, fantastic, energized, rejuvenated, and superb. So once, gently coming out, 2, 3, 4, coming out slowly, 5, coming out slowly. And whenever you are comfortable, just open your eyes and feel energized, feeling great, extraordinary, outstanding, perfect right now, because you absolutely indeed are so. Everybody, if you all can put your spectacles back onto your eyes and come back. I believe all of you have experienced some superb, fantastic, positive states right now. Isn't it? Fantastic. I like that. A fantastic, superb. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll touch upon, so it's very, very important for us to understand human psychology. Okay. The wonderful thing about human psychology is that whenever you meet somebody who might be able to potentially facilitate successful outcomes. See, we are all interdependent on various people, like, people who you connect with for various outcomes, right? Now, the most important thing is for us to create a positive impact. Now, keep in mind, communication is 93% of the communication is non-verbal, meaning it's unspoken. 7% of the communication comes from the verbal part of what we speak. Now, how we speak, what words we select or choose, or all of that is also important. And that in itself creates a very important impact or good impact. Now, the most important thing for us to understand is that the first thing I'll talk about is attire. Now, I generally attire when I was in the Western world. When I was in the Western world, the weather was conducive, it was cool, so I used to wear a suit every time. However, here in India, in Mumbai, I wear a tie and a shirt. Now, I prefer or I like to wear a tie and a shirt. You can just wear a proper good shirt and a dress pant. Dress pant, shirt, and good polished shoes. Note, I didn't say expensive. I said good, decent, polished shoes. We'll have a session for questions. So all you do is put down your questions, note your questions on paper, and we'll allocate a certain amount of time for taking care of those questions. My promise to you is everybody's question. Well, I can't promise you everybody's questions will be answered. That I can't. What I can say is probably we should be able to take care of a substantial amount of questions. And what you can do is you can connect with the Wadhwani Foundation. You can connect with Mr. Shrang Gupta and Nitya and ask them for you to connect with me. By all means, if you come through the Wadhwani Foundation or if you come through Mr. Shrang Gupta or Nitya, I'll be able to facilitate certain things after the session. Okay. So the importance of attiring is important. So grooming and attiring. So you got to check for your nails. Your nails have to be neat, clean shaven, and nice clean shirt, dress pant, and polished shoes. I polish my shoes every day, by the way, every morning. So, if you can do that, that is absolutely phenomenal. And the most important thing is, along with attiring, you must always remember body language is very important. So body language is, again, as I said, non-verbal communication, unspoken. And the most important aspect is whenever you meet somebody and you say, hey, hi, I am. So the first 30 to 45 seconds, right, is extremely crucial, because generally what happens is the first 30 to 45 seconds when you are interacting with people, either it be an interview, you're looking for a job, you talk to a stranger, whatsoever it might be, the first 30 to 45 seconds in their mind or in their brain, they decide whether they are going to extend you courtesy or engage with you. So remember, courtesy is what they won't say no. They'll give you a reason not to move forward. I repeat, they'll give you a reason not to move forward. I repeat. So the wonderful thing about the Western world is, in the West, when somebody doesn't want to deal with you, they'll say, hey, listen, I'm not interested. Plain and simple. I'm not interested. Stop wasting your time. Now, in some cultures, they'll say, yeah, I really like it. I like what it's, even though they might not be. So what they'll say is, hey, it's a good idea. What we'll do is, let's connect after 5 days. I'll talk to my wife, whatever comes to their mind, wife, brother, sister, father, mother, whomsoever, right? So that's what I call a stall. What you call that is a stall. It's not an objection, it's a stall. So they are pushing things away into the future. Now, when they push things away into the future, what we generally tend to believe, even that happens to me, oh yes, they are only going to think about my issue all the time. Oh God, yes, my deal is the best deal in town, eh? So in essence, what they have done is, after you are out of their sight, they'll say, okay, now I won't pick up the phone. That's one reason. Second is, if they pick up the phone, they'll say, hey, listen, I have been really busy. I've been making $100 million. I've been so busy, I have been unable to contemplate on what you presented to me, or whatever, XYZ, whatever comes to their mind. So the outcome is going to get deferred into the future. So what you have to realize is, you have to learn to communicate and tell people, okay, it's okay to say no. If you do not want to go ahead, I completely respect that. See, what happens is, when you state that, it puts them or surprises them. Because everybody, what they believe is, hey, you know, I am the most important person, I'm giving you business. Remember, you are providing them with value, right? If you're truly providing them with value, then they must respect, what's the word? Or respect what you provide them with. If they are, see, when people disrespect what I bring to the table, I say, bye-bye, make it a great day, have a good one. And I cut ties off. Now, I'm not recommending that you do that, because you'll lose a lot of people. I do that because my approach is very simple. Certain things are acceptable, certain things are non-negotiable. When it's non-negotiable, I say, hey, good luck. I'm not the best fit for you, because I'm not. Right? So that's an approach I use. Again, this takes a lot of courage. You have to be very courageous, because you have to have a belief in yourself that you are the best. You are so unique. They are fortunate to be working with you, right? They are fortunate to be working with you. Well, if you start looking at politeness, my friend, then all you will have is politeness and no outcomes. So that's okay. See, remember, what did I first say? You make the choice. Remember, who makes the choice? You, right? It's your choice, it's your call. Because remember, when you make the choice, you have to deal. Who is responsible for the outcome? You are. You can say, hey, that person did this. Sorry, you made the choice, you decide, and you have to be in the driver's seat. That's most important, because remember, the more you feel in control, the less stress you are going to be in. The less you feel in control. Remember, it's perception. If you feel that somebody else is always in control, I guarantee you this, you are going to be an unhappy, dissatisfied person. So important thing is retain control. Maintain your dignity. I repeat, maintain your dignity, because remember, your dignity is priceless. There's no price tag. You are priceless. You are infinitely valuable. You must believe that for the other world to feel it or perceive it. Okay. So having said that, I've covered attire. I've covered non-verbal communication. When you communicate, always look straight into the person's eyes. Again, I repeat, avoid staring down at the person. You can look gently at the person, look away, then look back. Because what happens is, when you look at the person's eyes, a lot of times the eyes will convey what they are actually wanting or their intent. So it's very important. Always look at their body language. We'll do a small quick exercise. I want you to, what you want to do is sit straight and look upwards. Look upwards, take your chest back, and yes, everything. See, again, I'm telling you what, you have the choice. So fine, I respect, you make the choice, it's always in your hands. So okay, let's do one exercise. Keep your back straight, take your shoulders slightly back, take your shoulders back, keep them lower, and look up. Look up, keep breathing from your abdomen. Keep breathing from your abdomen. And now, what you want to do is bring back a situation, think about a situation that you found unresourceful, sort of negative, or somebody said something to you, and continue looking up and recreate the situation. And as you do so, now look again at, bring your head down to chin level. Keep on looking up. What you'll realize is that it's very difficult to feel negative when you're looking up. Our physiology affects our emotions, and feeling negative is just depending on what physiological state. So when I say physiology, it's a Western word. It's utilized a lot in the Western world. Physiology is the way you utilize your body, right? So how you position your body, how you breathe, and everything matters. Now what you do, we'll do something else. Now slump your shoulders, and look down towards the ground. Look down. Okay. Now think about a positive situation and look down. Keep on looking down. And feel what you feel, see what you see, hear what you hear. And now look again straight. What you'll realize is that when you look up, you get into a more empowering state. So you get into an empowering state. All you want to do is, even in a negative situation, you want to get into an empowering state. So what happens is you can resourcefully take care of the situation versus saying, oh God, what's going on, etc. Questioning. Tony Robbins, one of my role models, says positive questions are the genesis of human focus. So if you learn to ask yourself empowering questions, it's going to facilitate a way more positive outcome. And the best empowering question is this: whenever you feel challenged, what is great about the situation? I repeat, write this question down. What is so fantastic? What's so great about this situation right now? And hold on. Ask yourself this question. Get habituated to asking yourself this question, and you'll feel way more resourceful. Note, I didn't say the situation will change. You'll be able to tackle the situation more efficiently. Okay, so this is Warren Buffett. He's one of my greatest role models. So see, as I grew up, right, my parents and all the elders used to say, study, work hard, all nonsense, all baloney. Because I did work hard, and I found that working hard wasn't getting me anywhere. Work smart and do the right things. So here's the most important thing. This quote will serve you. If you hold on to it, it'll serve you for the rest of your life. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die. I repeat, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die. The key here is to work minimal and create income. Now, the question you always have to ask yourself here is, when you go to work or whenever you seek something, do you have to do it or do you choose to do it? There's a big distinct difference between have to and choose to. When we choose to do something, it's a choice we make. We feel in control. I repeat, we feel in control. When you have to, somebody else is in control. And again, remember, the less you feel in control of your life or of any situation, your stress will go up. And stress is one of the greatest causes of health deterioration. Okay? So again, remember, it's always your call. I'm providing you with the information. You are the best judge. Okay, so what we have to do is, depending on what you're looking for, are you looking for a job or are you looking for financial freedom? Now, if you're looking for a job, great, kudos to you. I'll be touching upon a couple of things. I will share with you all the financial quadrant and so on and so forth. So can I touch upon Robert T. Kiyosaki now? Okay, so the thing is, we'll discuss financial freedom. So what is financial freedom? Financial freedom is a concept whereby you can decide what you want to do to what extent. I repeat, financial freedom, the definition of financial freedom is that you have so much money that you can decide when to work or when not to work. And I will also talk about some systems and so on and so forth. So your perception about this word job will change once we go through it. So Shrang, can we do a... Okay. So first thing, I'll introduce you all to this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book changed my life, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. This author is Robert T. Kiyosaki. A brief short synopsis about Robert T. Kiyosaki. Robert T. Kiyosaki is a Japanese American, third generation Japanese American from Hawaii. And he, as a 9-year-old child, his father was an extremely well-educated person. His father was a PhD, and he was one of the highest educated people in Hawaii. And he worked as a school teacher, as he had a job as a school teacher. Now, the challenge is that his father was always struggling with money. Okay, that's what Robert realized, that he was always struggling with money. Now, what had happened is he had his best friend called Mike. Both were 9-year-old kids. By chance, they landed in a school where everybody else was really wealthy. Yes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I'm talking about that. So what happened is that, as we know, as human beings, we are always looking at others. So if we see somebody with an iPhone, we say, yeah, I want the iPhone. If we go to somebody's house and we say, we see a big screen TV, oh, I also want that. Somebody goes for a vacation, oh, I also want to go for a vacation. So what happened is that Robert went to his father and said, hey, all the kids are wealthy and they have money and etc., etc. So his father said, see, we can't afford that. I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I can't afford any of that. So, a kid asks, why can't you afford, right? What is the reason you can't afford? So finally, he asked his father a lot of times. So what he said, listen, your friend Mike's father is very wealthy. That's what I know. And so you go and ask him. So that's how he connected with his rich dad. So his rich dad is his best friend, Mike's father. And so as he grew up, his rich dad actually guided, mentored him. And that's why today, Robert T. Kiyosaki he retired, I believe, at 30 plus years. Him and his wife, Kim Kiyosaki, have retired. They call it the rat race. Everybody's in the rat race. So they stepped out of the rat race. And today, he is one of the wealthiest and he pays minimal taxes. I repeat, minimal taxes. So now I'll touch upon, if all of you want to grow wealthy, I presuppose, then you must keep in mind two things erodes wealth. One, debt, D-E-A-T-H. Now, debt is something we are unable to control. It's beyond our control. The second is taxes. How you structure yourself, what you do, will determine if you have the next generation, how specifically you are able to pass on the wealth to the next generation without incurring maximum taxes. Okay? Because that's a big challenge. And that's where the wealthy are really superb at creating a structure whereby they minimize their tax liability. Okay? Now, having said that, we will touch upon some other things in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So, okay, great. So this is one of the most important things. So first, what we will do is I'll touch upon a couple of things. So job, right? Now, keep in mind, I respect everybody. If you are looking for a job, again, it's your call. Everything is your call. My goal here is to provide you with the tools and the information. What you decide or choose to do with the information is a choice you make. Remember, say yourself, I choose, and you select the outcome. So job is just over broke. I repeat, just over broke. So if you're looking for a job, yes, you will make money, and for sure, you will consistently work. And most people who have the highest incomes or highest packages, they have the most luxurious vehicle sitting in the vehicle. They have the most luxurious vehicle. They have a big unit or a home. I'll come to home. Home is also a liability. Everything is a liability. So I will first So keep this in mind, just over broke. So now ask yourself, what is the definition of an asset? Can we have people answer, or what, Shrang? We have the option.
Yeah, they can type in the chat. That's the easiest way.
Okay, so you look at the chat and tell me, okay, what is the definition? So answer this question. What is the definition of an asset? Just tap at the chat box. If you can have a look at the chat box, sure. What is the definition of an asset? I repeat, just put whatever.
Money that we put in our pocket.
Okay. So
it's a valuable thing.
Okay.
Resources that the businesses own.
Okay.
It's something valuable. It's wealth in liquid and solid form, current or fixed, property, something which gives returns, anything owned and controlled by individual or entity that has economic value. It's a molecule. It represents a resource. Thank you for it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please excuse my writing right now because I'm having a lot of fun writing here. So asset is very simple. It puts money into your pocket. Simple. Absolutely simple. Keep it simple. It'll serve you. If it is putting money into your pocket, it's an asset. Everything else is commentary, right? Commentary. Now, having said that, your house is not your asset. Your house is your liability. So I'll explain something to you. This is fine, everybody. This is fine. Okay. So let me show you how your house is a liability. So, okay. So you have a house. Great. First and foremost, if you have a loan on the house or a mortgage on the house, the financial institution owns the house or the property. You own the debt on the property. Now, debt, which is D-E-B-T, that's what you own. Now, when do you actually own the property? After 25 years, when you have paid off the entire debt, then you own the property. Now, keep in mind that whenever you take on debt, you are repaying the financial institution 3.5 times more than what the amount you've taken. So that's an interest. That's where they make the money, right? Now, let's say you have a mortgage or you don't have a mortgage. Now you have a mortgage, you don't have a mortgage, it's mortgage free. What do you pay? You pay maintenance, you pay taxes, then you repairs, then you take care of the wear and tear. So all that the house is doing is taking money out of your pocket. So in a sense, it's a liability. I repeat, in essence, it's a liability and not an asset. It's a liability. Now, yes, you have a roof over your head. That's fine. A roof over your head. People might define a 4-bedroom house. Some people want a bungalow. Choice is again yours. Repeat. I have repeated this over and over and over again. Choice is completely yours. You decide, you make the choice, you choose. Okay? Now, okay, so we are running short on time. Okay, so this is an asset. A vehicle also is a liability. You drive the vehicle, you pay insurance, you pay taxes, that's it. So it's a waste of, you're throwing away your money. So if you buy a luxury vehicle, it's a bigger liability. Okay, it gives you what I call gratification. What's the word? The word is gratification. We go to a restaurant, we spend money, expensive, great. We feel gratification. The word is gratification. Okay. So now what we do is we'll do the cash flow quadrant. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, so this is E, this is SE, this is B, and this is I. Okay, so E is an employee. E stands for employee. Again, this is courtesy Robert T. Kiyosaki. Everything comes from there. I've learned everything from there. So courtesy and the credit goes to Robert T. Kiyosaki. However, the actual credit goes to his rich dad, who's one of the wealthiest people in Hawaii. Most of the Hawaii is owned by his rich dad. So E is employee, SE is self-employed, B is business owner, I is investor. Now, most of the people are in this category, which is the E. Everybody goes, gets a job, you get paid. You fail to show up, your salary is deducted, or you lose compensation. Second, if you get a pink slip in the West, we call it pink slip. One fine day, the company decides you are no longer required. Thank you very much. Make it a pleasant and a great day. Thank you for your service. So that's employee. You trade in time for money. So you show up, you do the work, and you get paid. Self-employed is all the doctors, the surgeons, the lawyers, plumbers, anybody who's self-employed comes in the self-employed category. Now they are basically, that reminds me, I also got to have water and my throat is dry. So now both this sides of the quadrant, there isn't any time freedom. You lack time freedom. You have to go to work. You have the bills. You got to go to work. There's no option. The moment you stop working, you might be unable to take care of your financial obligations. So there is no option. You like it. Office politics are pathetic. They are giving you a lot of stress. You still have to fulfill your financial obligations. Now, B stands for business. So I'll use McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Microsoft, Apple, Meta. These are all businesses. So these are big. Generally, they are global. They have systems in place. Now, the key is I will talk about this word system and processes because everybody feels that, we depend on humans. See, the thing is the systems and the processes outlive human life. So Coca-Cola is a classical example. Coca-Cola has been around for over 100 years. Coca-Cola as a company has been around for 100 years and they are thriving. So Coca-Cola, if you look at worldwide sales, they are at the top even today. And I stands for investor. Okay. So system is save yourself time, energy, money. The word system, save yourself time, energy, money. Okay. So what you remember is from the left side of the quadrant, you want to move to the B and I. When you move to the B, the business owner, your revenue generation is exponential. That means you have money to take and invest. When you start investing the money and you start having the money work for you, that's when you start moving towards financial freedom. How much time, Shram?
We're actually out of time, but then we can.
Okay, so let's conclude. You can always reach out to me if you have any other questions. You just have to connect with Mr. Shrang Gupta or Nitya. And as long as you tell me you're from, you have attended the session of the Wadhwani Foundation, then we can engage and connect.